gospel of the kingdom is going to be preached. Romans 8:28. We know all things work together for good to them that love God and to them who are called according to his purposes. First thing is, what is his purpose? Most of us don't believe that all things work together for good.
Yep.
Right?
Fact.
I went through this list this year, you know. I could have said the devil, this, that, and the other. And in the end, I had to come to this place, settled in God. I don't care. Whatever's going on, you're in charge and it's for my good. Right? All things work together for good, no matter what's going on. You see, you've got to teach this to this generation because they're going to get caught up in some battles.
I agree with Brother Neville 100%, and it's in the scripture that all things work together for our good. But what he's saying is so true. The things he was going through, he could have said the devil, this and that. If we are honest Christians, if we are honest, whenever troubles and trials and tribulation, whatever we call it, warfare, we got all kinds of spiritual name for it. Whatever we call it, whenever problems present itself, instead of asking God, the first thing we'll start binding, we'll start rebuking, and some people they start going to fast, and we'll start praying, and we'll start, I pull this down, I call this down, I uproot this, I pull this out. Some of them will start returning to sender, binding, rebuking. I pull this down, I put that down. What else? We have all kinds of spiritual gymnastics. When the first thing problem presents itself, the first question we should ask God, what's in it? Or what's the root cause of this? Because the purpose of warfare or a test or trials or tribulation is to demonstrate and display the majesty, the supremacy, and the sovereignty of God. Simple. I repeat. Whenever tests and trials and tribulation, whatever we want to call it, warfare, whatever names we have given, with all of our spiritual linguistic and lingos and languages and terminologies, it is to display and demonstrate the majesty, the sovereignty, and the supremacy of who God is in our lives. So whenever you receive tests and trials, stop binding. I rebuke, I bind, I return to sender, I come against, I pull this down, I tear this up, I uproot this, I plant this, I break this curse, I break that curse. Whoever after my destiny, whoever swallow my star, vomit, whoever put a padlock on my womb. For you Americans, if you don't know what I'm saying, many Africans know what I'm saying. Yes, all this deliverance, blah. I'm not saying there's no time for deliverance, but before you even go for the deliverance, I'm not saying you should never fast and pray, but before you even start to fast and pray, I'm not saying you shouldn't uproot, tear down, pull down, plan day, re-strategize, return to sender. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. What I'm saying is before you do that, go ask the Lord, Father, what's up? So you don't end up praying and miss. So you don't fast for 40 days and nothing happens or the problem gets worse. Then you make God look like he's deaf, he's dull, he's dumb, he's not nice, he don't love you. Something you're not holy enough, you didn't pray enough, you didn't fast enough, you didn't sow enough, you didn't do this. All our spiritual gymnastics, ask God, which part of your nature, your characteristic, and your attributes of God that you are willing to display and demonstrate in this matter? What brought this on? Maybe sometimes it could even be us. But we don't like to look at ourselves. We want to quit to point finger. It's human nature. From the Garden of Eden, we never took responsibility. They asked Adam, he blamed the wife. They asked the wife, she blamed the serpent. None of them took responsibility. If each of them had taken responsibility and said, yes, Adam told the Lord said, Adam, why you let this? You know what, Father, you're right. You put me in charge, but I walked away or I allowed my wife to distract me and I ate it. Then they asked the wife, he said, yes, even though the serpent tempted me, but you still told me not to eat it, and I still went ahead. Father, please forgive us. If they have done it that way, we would have never found ourselves in this condition we find ourselves in. So from the Garden of Eden to now, humanity, Christians or non-Christian, humanity do not like to take responsibility for their action, because taking responsibility means you have to take a long, deep, brutal, honest, sincere look in the mirror and check yourself first. But instead, we'll point finger and blame shift and point finger at everyone. The witch in the village, generational curse, is my mother, is my father, your husband, somebody tied your womb, and somebody stole your destiny, they swallow your star. Everything is responsible for your destiny, your life the way it is, but you. What if you're walking in disobedience? What if God asks you to do something, you didn't do it, and he's waiting until you do it, that prayer you've been praying for 40 years will come to pass? What if you are reaping what you sow? So it's called sowing and reaping. There's some things you may have done, few days, few weeks, few months. You don't know. That's why it's good to always walk and live a life as best as you can. Pure heart, pure motive, pure desire, pure intentions towards God and all men. Now you pray, sanctify my imagination, purify my thoughts. Even the words out of your mouth, we don't speak ill about each other. Some of the things you are going through that you call warfare may be nothing more than consequences of your actions or lack of actions. Some of you walking in absolute pride and disobedience and haughtiness. You think you are it, isn't it? And then all that you binding, rebuking, generational curse, you full of pride and arrogance. Anybody can say none to you because you know it all. And you've been there, you've done that. So beloved, if we truly believe the scripture when the Bible said, all things work together for good to the advantage of those who love the Lord, we have to calm down and stop stressing ourselves and stressing God out. That when problems present itself, ask the Lord, is this a consequence of a behavior or something I did or didn't do or should have done? Is this, did I break any of God's spiritual laws? Because sometimes we break God's spiritual laws. He has spiritual laws he put into effect. One of the spiritual laws that is in effect, that anybody, it works for anyone, Christians or non-Christians, it's called sowing and reaping. You cannot go around gossiping, backbiting, murmuring, tearing seed, sowing seed of discord, division, dissension, strife, anger, jealousy, competition. You sowing all these seed in the hearts and the minds of people against somebody else, and then you expect to reap peace in your life. You expect everything in your life to work just smoothly. You expect to pray while you're still praying, that the prayer just, as soon as you finish praying, the answer just come. You expect all of that. But if God were to split your heart open and put it on the jumbo screen to the whole world, what would he see? Will your heart be filled with seed of love and compassion and prayers and decrees for yourself and others? And that others includes your friends and your enemies. You see, Christians, stop all this binding rebuke. Start asking yourself, what doors did I open? Which part of God's spiritual laws did I break? What seed have I sown that I'm reaping the consequences? I call it warfare. Let's go into this 2023, begin to take a deep look, brutal, sincere honesty with ourselves. Let's stop blaming the devil. Let's stop blaming the witch in the village. Let's stop blaming generational curse. Let's stop blaming your auntie, your mother-in-law, your sister. I'm not saying, granted, they may have, but search yourself first. Search yourself first. Sit down, take a notebook, brutally search yourself. Even if it's the witch, the Bible said all things will work together for your good. So let the witches, even the witches want to mess with, it will still work together for your good, my friend. Settle with God, settle in God. Let God do the work in you and through you. Because even with all the witchcraft come against you, if your heart is pure, you have a pure heart, pure motive, pure desire, pure intention towards God and all men, you know what God will say that and allow witch to take you out. And you're walking in purity. And you are pure, that the enemy, the witches, they come to you to find nothing in you. You think that witchcraft will stick? The reason why many times, sometimes the witchcraft can stick when they send it to some Christians, because the enemy finds something in you. Something in the form of anger, bitterness, pride, malice, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, pride of life, gossiping, backbiting, pity party, victim mentality, and the list can go on and on. So sometimes those witchcraft spell that you believe is on you, or sometimes the generational curse you think is still working in you, operating in your life, it could also be, beloved, the enemy came to you, he found something in you. So if you daily begin to live a life daily, Father, purify my heart, purify my motives, purify my desires, purify my intentions towards God and all men. Creating me, Father, pure heart, pure motive, pure desire, pure intention. Sanctify my imagination. Cleanse me, oh God, from all unrighteousness. You begin to pray prayers of blessings for your friends, for yourself, for your family members, for your enemies. Those are all seeds of good deeds. And you sow those seeds, you will reap it. But you have hatred in your heart, malice, and all gossiping, and you just dropping little hints here and there, or little shades to poison people's mind against other people. And then what do you expect to reap? You will reap the same thing, my friend. So when tests and trials and tribulation present itself, before you start buying and rebuking, before you run to the phone, please run to the throne and ask the Lord, Father, what's up? We need to talk. What door did I open? Which one of your spiritual laws did I break? What consequences am I reaping because I am walking in disobedience, or I did something, or I'm harboring something against somebody, or I spoke something against somebody? Maybe in jest, maybe you didn't mean any harm, maybe in joking, naively, innocently, or just casually, but you didn't mean any harm, but it came across to them, or it came across to God, or it came across to the angels around you for that person as not just. Maybe God don't like it. I mean, Moses and Miriam, they were talking about, excuse me, Miriam was, what's the, I can't even, Aaron, thank you, my mind just cleared for a little bit. Moses and Aaron, they were talking about Moses. Miriam and Aaron was talking about Moses. To me, honestly, it won't be nothing for me to strike her leprosy, but I'm not God. Hello? Yes, they were just gossiping, but God didn't like it. You see, sometimes we just say, oh, I just joke, I didn't mean it, we're just talking casually, it's no big deal. To God, it may be a big deal. Maybe to Moses and Aaron, I keep saying Moses. To Miriam and Aaron, it wasn't a big deal what they were saying to them, but it was a big deal to God. And she reaped the consequences. So sometimes we could be reaping the consequences. God may be striking some of you with leprosy. I don't mean the literal leprosy, but in your life, your finances, your marriage, your health, your children, your whatever. So let's go through this new year in 2023 with pure heart, pure motive, and pure desires. Let's go in this year 2023. Let's sow seed that we want to reap. So that means whatever seed you don't want to reap in your life, don't sow in somebody's life. Don't talk ill about anybody if that's not what you don't want to reap, because you will reap it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And don't entertain and be in the conversation and hear somebody else talking bad about a person. In their absence, shut it down or defend that person and don't entertain it, because you can say, oh, I didn't say nothing, I was there. The fact that you were there and you just listen, you didn't say nothing. What do you think that happened? What that does? It may poison your mind against that person. Or just by being present and not saying nothing, you have participated. It's like somebody say, you watch a gang of kids raping a woman. You say, oh, I didn't do nothing. You just sat there, but you didn't stop it. Are you not an accomplice to the crime? Same thing spiritually. Let's go in this new season to walk with purity of heart, motives, and desire. I don't want to entertain any thought in my head about anyone that God will not entertain. I don't want to entertain any desire or harbor any desire or emotions in my heart towards anyone that God does not have. I don't want to speak words over anybody's life anymore going forward forever towards anyone in their absence or in their presence, jokingly or seriously. I don't want any words out of my lips about anybody, myself included, that God would not speak. If God wouldn't say that over your life, I have no right to say it, whether to your face or behind your back. I don't want to say it, because I want to have a life that is pure and holy for the master's use. So when the enemy comes to me, he finds nothing in me. And when he finds nothing in me, he has no choice but to bow by every word I say. He has no choice but to bow. But many of us don't have the power and the authority to rule over our enemies, because why? The enemy found something in us. Anyway, before I go on preaching, this is your girl Dagnet. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Merry Thanksgiving, Happy Thanksgiving. This is December 28 or something, or 27, 2022. I hope you're preparing for the new year. Sit down and take a mental inventory of your life. How has it been going? What are the warfare you have been battling for 5, 10, 20 years? Sit down. Maybe it's meant for you to do it. Maybe it was just meant for God to strengthen you. Maybe the reason why, because you are so stubborn and strong, where he allowed that so he can break some things in you. Don't always have to be generational curse. You may want to break your strong will and stubborn spirit. You may allow that to break some pride and arrogance in you. You may allow that to break and deal with some issues and tears in your soul, but you are binding the rebuking and dealing with the witch and breaking generational curse, and it didn't happen. Nothing was broken, because why? You didn't settle with God to ask him, Father, what's up? Anyway, this is Dagner. What's up? Thank you for sharing and subscribing. Leave your comment and your suggestions below. And if you don't agree with the message, it's okay. We're not going to start a civil war over there. We're not going to start a religious war over there. I'm okay to understand, to accept that in every message out there that I put belongs for everybody. If you don't agree, it's okay. Keep passing. So this way we don't get into argument and disagreement and stir up malice between each other. Are you with me? So I can continue to maintain to have a pure heart before God on your behalf, and you can have a pure heart to God on my behalf. Hello? So you don't agree, keep passing. Go find something you agree with, wrong with it. This one you don't agree, no problem. But those who have ears to hear and who the Spirit of God resonate with them, they will agree 100% and begin to apply to their lives. God bless you. Thank you.